Should I try Ozempic or just fix my diet? What if the answer isn't either or, but how you use it? Hey, welcome to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap podcast with the two renegade pharmacists, Brian Bisher and Corey Jenks. You are listening to this because you are a person with type 2 diabetes who is committed and driven to breaking free from this diagnosis and creating a real, meaningful change in your health and life. In these episodes, we're here to help you ditch the scripts with doses of unconventional wisdom on topics such as fitness, nutrition, medication, mindset, and more. So without any further delay, let's dive right in. Come on, Corey.
Distracted by your bare arms yet again. Brian, bringing the heat. We're not just talking diabetes knowledge. Folks, we don't just talk about strength training. Brian lives it, and he likes to show off his hard work. I am in long sleeves because I will be going outside in the blistering Tucson heat soon to take my kids to golf clinic, so I have to cover up. But believe me, if this was a visual episode, you would say, "What you hiding, Corey?" And I would say, "I don't want Brian to feel bad because I'm so much stronger than him."
He
So,
really is stronger than me. I will give people that. He is stronger than me, but I am more defined.
yeah.
Just because I don't like as much cheese and nuts, and
Yep.
that's really what it comes down to. It's just,
That
but
and
you
I
know what?
finished all so we started school last week out here. As we recorded this in August of 2025 out here, the kids are back to school and they bring home their leftovers and I just cannot waste food. And maybe I'm a bad example for you all, but we feed our kids whole foods, so it's not like the Oreos were left over, so I have to eat them. Not using that excuse. It's just I don't like wasting food. So yeah, well, a
Ah,
couple little tweaks here. Maybe a poor example. Maybe I should use my own coaching for that. But I feel like I'm doing okay for 38. So I
yeah,
fit into. I'm in. This is not to make anyone feel bad, but I am in pants that are smaller than my high school pants at
there you go.
38. 20 years later, we got the 20-year union next month. Go Dorados, class of '05. So Brian, I guess you asked how I'm doing. I'm doing great. I am just full of
Good,
energy
man.
and words. And I know that this week or this episode or this day, wherever you hear this, that I still work in a diabetes clinic, and I will tell you the number one medication request I get. Can you guess what it is, Brian?
Not statin right now. I'm just kidding. Probably the GLP-1, right? Isn't that, aren't
Yeah,
those pretty hot right now?
they are fiery hot. They're smoking hot. They are hotter than the Arizona summer. So I hear a lot. Should I try Ozempic or just fix my diet? What are we going to do here? And I think there's a lot of gray area, a lot of nuance that a 30-second direct-to-consumer Ozempic commercial won't be able to give you, a 7-minute primary care appointment won't be able to give you, and a 15-second pharmacy retail counseling cannot give you. But you know what, Brian?
What
We
about a
don't have
20-minute
those.
podcast?
How about a 20-minute podcast? I think that will be sufficient to whet your appetite and fill in the gaps and leave you with a better idea of should I use a GLP-1? Should I fix my diet? What's the answer? Is it either or? How should I use it? Help me, Brian. Help me.
Well,
How should we frame? I mean, we can frame GLP-1s and really any medication for blood sugar, but how do you think we should be framing these versus how they are framed?
I think we frame them as a tool. When we talk about this in the master class, like a little handsaw, my neighbor, he's been doing a lot of work building his deck out there, and I see them, they're using one of those like wood cutters, whatever you call it, like a saw, and they're just running wood
Yeah,
through it.
those things are called saws, Brian. A
Well, there's a
saw,
specific kind of saw that like you just, it's not a hand saw where
a
you're just
table saw.
table saw. Thank you. Boom. And yeah, we frame it as a tool. I would not use one of those. If he came over to ask me, like, Brian, could you help me? I'd be like, well, I will help you, but I will carry. I will not use this table saw because I don't want to cut a finger off. And I think the same thing.
The good news is a lot of these table saws now are actually built in to detect human flesh. So
Oh,
they
great.
won't cut your finger off, but I don't want to break your point there. So yeah,
Is
we don't want to.
Ozempic built to detect human muscle and protect that, Corey?
Oh wow, Brian, that is a fiery conversion right there. So I think that how GLP-1s are framed right now is a miracle cure. And if you look at the statistics of obesity, they finally stopped going up. So I would argue that as a nation, we probably are benefiting as a whole from using these. But are we using them in a correct way? I think framing them as a tool and not a destination or a forever medication, if you can make it happen, is probably a better, more realistic approach. I always tell my patients, we start this, we want an off ramp. What's the plan to get off of it? And so I think that there's a way to use these as a tool, but how do they work? We're pharmacists. We should know these mechanisms of action.
I just did some CE on this.
How many people are injecting these with no idea how or why they work. Probably 90% of people. So, Brian, give people a 101 high-level overview of the GLP-1s.
Yeah, thanks, Corey. Nice to get a word in every once in a while. Just kidding. He lets me talk. So yeah, so essentially they do multiple things. They actually the more that we study them, the more they find out they do so much that it's like people, that's why they're touted as a miracle drug. They could treat everything. Evidence coming out that they're going to protect your kidneys, they're going to protect your heart, they're going to make you lose weight, they're going to, you know, control your blood sugar, bring your blood sugar down. But what do they actually do? They tell your body, so really this is a hormone we have in our body naturally. Imagine
Hmm.
that. Our body has this already, but science is going to come in, big pharma is going to come in and
Well,
be
what
like,
is called
boom.
a GLP-1 agonist. So our body will produce GLP-1, and we have receptors for GLP-1, and this is an agonist for that receptor.
Yeah, okay. So we have this type of hormone in our body already, and we're just mimicking it, finding different ways to make it last. You can inject it once a week. But how do they actually work? So they tell your pancreas, first of all, to push out insulin. Say, hey, like maybe you're not getting enough of this signal from your own body to push out insulin. So it's going to do that in response to eating. You need to push out insulin to lower your blood sugar. And then it's also going to slow how fast your stomach empties food into your intestines, which in essence just makes you eat less. But that only really works if you eat a certain kind of food. There are certain types of foods that if you eat them anyway, they bypass that so quickly that you could still like over consume calories. Those are really the two main ones. And like I said, they go and they act on a bunch of different, like in your heart, your kidneys. They might work in those areas to reduce inflammation. But it's just like this widespread effect on your body. The two main ones, though, releasing insulin, slowing food, emptying from your stomach, which can cause some issues. I mean, that's where you get the nausea, the vomiting, and just GI distress from getting too high of a dose too fast, and that's why they're really slowly built up in dosage. What did I miss there, Corey?
In short, they will help you lower sugar by in response to food, sending out more insulin to lower your sugar. And they're going to make paralyze your stomach so you're not hungry. So you eat less and your sugar goes down and your weight goes down. In simple. It's basically what's going on. And what we are finding, as Brian was alluding to, is that we have these GLP-1 receptors in different parts of our body, especially our brain. So for people who have food addiction issues, I
Yeah,
hear from patients that they quiets the food noise. And
thank you.
so this is sort of a caution flag for any new class of medications, is that they are tested in several thousand people and then they're approved and then they go out to millions of people. And you know what happens? We learn new stuff about them, sometimes good and sometimes bad. And Brian, you mentioned some of those yucky tummy side effects, nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, constipation. What are a couple other more serious ones we want to be looking out for? Because these are, again, these are touted as a magic pill, but there are downsides. And any conversation you have with a provider about taking them should include the risks and the benefits.
Well, yeah, and I think it's important to note that over half of people that start these are done taking them within a year. Isn't something along those lines? I don't know the actual statistic, but it's pretty close to the rate of people stopping it is pretty high because they just can't tolerate the effects. Maybe their wallet can't tolerate the cost. I don't know. Probably a combination. There's also now, I mean, there's always concern when these are so new. It's like, what are the long-term effects? I can tell you the long-term effects of exercise are great. I don't know what the long-term effects of GLP-1 are. I mean, there is like potential risk of thyroid cancer. That's a concern. Now there's this new concern for eye problems, your eye swelling, and causing worse vision. I mean, that's a concern when you have diabetes anyway, but now there's a potential concern of that. Uh, any other? Oh, well, muscle loss. And then there, we'll just go there. I think so. Yeah, they're saying these drugs, yeah, they're mere weight loss. Wait. Well, we don't want to just lose weight. We want to lose fat, body fat specifically, and specifically visceral body fat, not just any body fat, the dangerous inflammatory body fat that leads to chronic disease.
And
And
visceral means around your internal organs,
yeah,
so around your pancreas, around
thank
your
you.
liver, versus what's called subcutaneous fat. So that's the stuff in your butt, your arms, your thighs, the stuff that we try to get off before beach season, which is from a vanity standpoint what we care about. But what will kill you sooner is visceral fat, which is
Yes.
essentially the last place your body wants to store fat because it's the most dangerous, but you run out of storage in your subcutaneous areas. So
Yeah.
that's
Good
just
call.
a little aside there. But yeah, so we're talking about losing fat mass versus muscle mass. And a lot of folks will go on these, they'll lose 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 pounds. It's a miracle. And for some patients, and not just weight loss. I know we're talking about this is a diabetes podcast. It lowers their blood sugar, and it feels like a miracle because we get these quick results. But unfortunately, if you're not changing anything else, these are unsustainable because the studies show you stop them, you gain the weight back, your sugars come up. And a big piece of that is if you are losing lean mass, which is muscle. Muscle is what we call metabolically active, which is code for when you move it, it burns more calories. So you lose lean mass, your metabolic rate goes down. You stop the medicine, and the snowball returns with a vengeance to worsen your sugars, worsen your weight, and now you're dependent upon these medicines. And so, on the one hand, it could feel like a miracle, and then it could feel like a crutch if you feel like you have to stay on these forever. But what if there was a bridge, Brian? A bridge
Hmm.
off of these, a bridge to freedom, a bridge to a better sugar, a bridge to a better weight, a bridge where you could take your table saw, not cut your fingers off, build the bridge with a table saw, cross that bridge, and not need that table saw again. Is there a way
Yeah,
to do that?
absolutely. I think we kind of can you think of these like training wheels for people because they will help you stay upright. You still don't just put a kid on a bike though. I'm teaching my kid how to bike now. He's got training wheels on, but I let go of him at one point and he still fell down on the bike with the training wheels. So training wheels or not, you need to have someone still guiding you, and that's where I think like coaching can come in, a really good doctor who's there to guide you and show you exercise, but they can be used as a bridge to a better lifestyle because it is hard. We know change is hard. We know that building skills is hard. We don't want you to just build the skill of injecting this into your body though. That is a skill, but that's not the only skill you want to build while you're on these. You want to build the skills of knowing how to eat, of picking foods out, of cooking food, of cooking easy and healthy food.
Finding foods that will naturally increase your GLP-1 without needing a GLP-1 agonist. And so
Yeah,
you can take those training wheels of the GLP-1 off and still not feel hungry all the time.
exactly.
And as far as the muscle loss, if you eat protein and lift weights, you can mitigate these effects. And I was actually listening to a podcast from another doctor who was pretty blunt in saying that if you take a GLP-1 and don't lift weights, it's a waste of time. And I love the bluntness of that. Because do you want to take $1,000 a month drug for the rest of your life, or can you develop skills that you can use the rest of your life? And so, with the proper coaching, you're going to figure out those dietary tools. You're going to figure out the exercise routines and habits that will fit into your lifestyle, because a good coach will fit into your life and not make a one size fits all approach. And then you might get to a place where you're ready to taper off the medicine, taper off that GLP-1 and brand. How would you know if you're ready to taper?
Well, yeah, that's a great question, Corey. I think you know you're ready to get on that exit ramp when you have more metabolic stability. Now, how do you know you have metabolic stability when you're still on these medications? Well, you talk to your doctor about because again, we can't prescribe, we can't adjust medications. We're just here to educate, and this is informational purposes only. But you still have to, hey, I'm doing all this. Let them know what you are doing. They are gonna probably be shocked, but they're gonna be like, wow, great, keep it up. Go and let's reduce your dose or let's skip a dose. Maybe I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what they're gonna tell you. But you need to have some metabolic stability and you need to then see how your body's doing without these, in a sense, right?
And,
I
and
mean,
you,
what would you say? You probably know this better than me, honestly, because
yeah, if you're seeing stable to lower blood sugar numbers, I think it's, and you want to be, I think you got to want to come off it. And I think you got to get a little pissed off and say, enough companies with your $1,000 a month drugs. I want off this. And so when we're seeing pretty regularly low blood sugars, sometimes if they're like dangerously low paired with other medicines, it's time to taper off. And you're not feeling the hunger, you feel like the food noise is quieted. I think that's a place to go. If you have kind of tying into that, if you have figured out the lifestyle habits, if you've been doing regular strength training and physical activity for months, if you feel solid about your cooking and your meal prep, your lifestyle's locked in, I think you're good to go. And when you put those two together, you're going to have confidence, and confidence is going to allow you to have that consistency. So, and this doesn't just happen. I think the patients I've seen who come off it are the most motivated. Sometimes, and in my clinic, there's not as much follow up as we get with our coaching clients, but they have that drive to they go into it wanting to come off it before they start it, if that makes sense. And so they buy in, they make the changes, and when they come see me, when they talk to Brian, we've tracked your numbers, we've gotten your workouts dialed in, And we talk through the challenges you're going to face, whether it's building the environment at home, if you have little kids and you like bringing treats in the house, like how can we avoid eating that entire bag of chips? Not saying I did that yesterday and I feel like crap today. Not saying that actually happened at all. Definitely not, maybe. So you can sustain the change. And that's the thing is being able to sustain the success you've had. And I have had patients come off of these drugs and do great. And they are happy to have used them as a tool. And the bridge is built, they cross the river, and they don't look back. So if you have been told you need this for life, I don't agree with that. But I don't think, unless you have been told you have literally tried everything and you're perfect with all of your habits and it has not worked, that's a different story. But I think there's certainly a road off of these medicines. And it comes down to do you want to be dependent on these the rest of your life? And have you been given that chance, given that hope, given that option to be medication free and have a controlled blood sugar?
Yeah, that conversation's usually not had. It's just like, okay, well, we're gonna start this and
Mhm.
see you later. We'll check you in a month, 3 months. Good luck. Here's the generic advice you get on a printout.
Eat less, move more, count your calories, 60 minutes of cardio a day or 150 minutes a week, whatever
Yeah.
garbage they're telling people now. It's clearly not working.
And
So,
it
yeah.
well it what it does is it actually discourages people because it sets the bar always too high. They have like these very big hurdles to jump and they never do it and they feel like crap about themselves. And it's like if you feel like crap about yourself, you really lower your belief in your ability to do anything. And you don't build the skills. So what we help people do and what needs to be done, it doesn't have to be, I don't care if it's with us or someone else, you have to build these skills. You have to practice over time and build it up. Like just go walk and then start doing some body squats and then I'm not going to give away, I mean, I'm not going to say everything here, but like basically building up the skills of moving more and then eating the right type of foods that are going to naturally keep you full and see and not snacking. And then that you get more competent at that. And then the competence is what builds confidence. And confidence doesn't just happen by it's something that builds up over time, building the skills. So all that to say, like, yeah, you can GLP1s, they're a great bridge. They can buy you time. You just need to build up the skills. But coaching can help build that and help you become more competent, give you the road, and really just build that permanent foundation on which you can live, hopefully, a medication free, like at least a medication free life from a treating your blood sugar and metabolic disease standpoint. Not, promising. I mean, really, insulin resistance is the baseline of a lot of chronic diseases. So, it's a good bet that improving your blood sugar and metabolic health is going to help in a lot of other areas.
Yeah, I have seen patients come in and improve their sugars and their pain gets better, their depression gets better, their blood pressure gets better, their cholesterol gets better, their heartburn goes away. It really is if you want to put all your eggs in one basket to fix a lot of problems because we only have so much time, energy, money, and will to do things. If you could get at the root of a lot of things, I think uncontrolled blood sugar dependent upon medications, fixing that insulin resistance fixes so many other things. So
Yeah.
there's some hope, Brian. We left them with some hope. I like that.
Yeah.
And if you need a deck built, don't call us.
Yeah.
We will hurt ourselves, and it will
Apparently
be
not.
it will be dangerous. Well, if we have the right technology, we should not hurt ourselves unless we walk on the deck we built, and then it would crumble. But we spend all our time learning about diabetes, so you wouldn't trust us to build a deck anyway. But we're experts in what we do, Brian, and we love what we do, and we love giving people their lives back, and not dependent upon all the medications.
Yeah. We'd love to see you in the masterclass. So check it out in the comments or the show notes. Hope to see you there. And really, we dive a little bit more into it. There's more visuals. I know you don't get to see our faces on this podcast. I just don't feel like honestly investing the time into that technology to put it on YouTube. It's just a whole thing. And Corey knows that I handle all the tech stuff and
Yeah.
editing this podcast is
If you
enough.
really want a YouTube version, if we get at least 5 emails from 5 different people, we will do it. All
Yeah.
right. We've set a low bar, but people, if you want to see us, if you want to see the faces behind this, we'll make it happen. And because we're here to serve you, and we want you. If it means watching us on a big old TV, then so be it. You will see
Yeah.
that my skin is not perfect, and I should leave my blackheads alone, but I don't. So, with that, Brian. It's good
Yeah,
to see you, man.
you
Let's
too.
if you're listening out there, go make some changes. Let us know what you think. Send us a question. We will address topics of interest at will. So let
Yeah,
us
I
know.
got
Let it
one.
fire.
I got one. We're going to talk about next time. How do I know when my insulin resistance has gone?
Oh, wow, what a teaser. All right.
Yeah,
Well, check us next time when we talk about that. So, all right, enough rambling. Brian, you have a great day.
you
Thanks for
too.
listening, everybody.
Thanks for listening. Now go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single episode, and you can join us on the journey and roadmap to remission. Thanks for listening to the Diabetes Remission Roadmap. The ideas discussed here are for general informational purposes only and do not constitute medical or nutritional advice. We are pharmacists, but we're not your personal healthcare providers. Always consult your own physician or qualified clinician before changing medications, exercise routines, or nutrition plans. Results vary, and what works for one person may not work for another.